Howdy, y'all. Welcome to Beth's Naughty Reads. I'm Beth LaMontagne, and I hope you guys are ready to get dirty reading Brynne Ashley's three-book series, the Montgomery series. Okay, I'll go back to normal voice now. I know, you guys, this is like the third take because I can't say Montgomery for some reason. I started off with a little Texas twang because I'll tell you that the Montgomery series occurs all in North Dallas, and being a South Texas girl, I thought I would embrace what I hear every time these characters talk. Before I get into the book, I want to remind you guys and ask you to follow me in all the socials. You can watch, or you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok under Beth's Naughty Reads. If you could also take a second to please thumb up and subscribe, I would appreciate it. Also, feel free to provide any feedback that you may have for me and or share the series with your friends. All right, so Brynne Ashley, she is a USA Today bestselling author. I found this book, or this book found me rather, on Instagram. For some reason, I have an algorithm now that is providing book recommendations and clothes recommendations from Amazon and Instagram. I decided to click on it and check out the book. The book that came up for me was Athletica Lane, or Athica Lane. It is book one of the Caprino series, and I loved that book so much. I read it in about a day. I think we could say a day. It was one evening and one morning, so I'm equating it to a day. I really liked her writing style. I really liked her storyline. I could really get in touch with the characters that she was writing about. And I wanted more books. After I finished that one, I went down the rabbit hole on her author page and just took a look at everything she had to read. And as I was reading through them, I got intrigued by the snippet on the Montgomery series, book one. And we'll have some pictures for you in a minute, but the first book was Bad Situation. And what drew me to that one is the main male character from the Caprino series is a brother to the people in this series. So I kind of knew what was happening with his. I thought I would just keep going down that line. And I'm glad I did, because it was really, really good. Let's get into the Montgomery series. It is a contemporary three-book romance series. Each story, like I mentioned, is built around the Montgomery clan. They're emotionally charged. They're standalone romances, so you don't have to read them, all in a row, but it's better if you do, because they do occur with each character in all the books. It is built, like I said, around the Montgomerys, and they are a highly visible family in North Dallas. They're in the oil industry, so everybody, and they're pretty well off, so everybody around them knows who they are. And so they are really kind of their catch, if you will, to anyone who can get in their circle. So we'll go ahead. We'll start with the first book. The first book is called Bad Situation. This book is a forbidden romance, and it's Jensen Montgomery, who goes by Jen. She is, in this book, she is currently the CFO, and she is working with her dad to prepare her for taking over as CEO as he gets ready to retire. As this is happening early on in the book, she discovers that she's being investigated by the FBI for wire fraud and insider trading. She also realizes that the hunky, sexy man that she dirty danced with the night before is actually one of the FBI agents conducting the investigation. So she's a little shocked and pissed off. So the relationship between Jen and Eli is real. And I didn't tell you his name. His name for the FBI is Eli Pettit. He sounds beautiful. What really drives this book is that relationship between them, that back and forth that they have, because she's under investigation and he's an FBI agent, really kind of plays into the emotional aspect of the book and really just draws you in. And as you start to see what is unraveling and who is working against them, it just kind of sucks you in and makes the book really, really interesting. It has great workplace suspense and intrigue. So book two is The Broken Halo. And this is a second chance, super emotionally charged romance. This follows Ellie Montgomery, which she is the baby and the youngest of the Montgomery sisters. We meet the main male character, Easton, who goes by Trigg. So Easton Trigg Barrett in the first book, because he is on the Montgomery, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the total name. Hold on. The Montgomery Industries lawyer team. So they were each other's, like, he's a bit older than her, but they were young love. They fell in love very early on. I think she was 18, and they were super in love until a tragedy at that time, which is 10 years in the past, rips them apart. Uh, Ellie and Trig are forced together because somebody in the storyline submits or submits an accusation against Ellie with the Child Protective Services, also known as CPS. And so Trig, being the Montgomery family lawyer, is responsible for representing her and getting her out of any trouble that she could get in with this. Again, this one had a lot of back and forth kind of between the 10 years and now, but it kind of really helped open up the scene, what was happening in the book. It really, like, I could feel their pain. I teared up. I think this is one of the books I teared up several times. It is a great read, and you can really invest in the characters. So I think it's a great book. Also really good is book 3, Betrayed Love. And this one is an age gap, steamy romance. This follows Quinn Montgomery, which, in a twist that you'll have to find out about in the second book, she is part of the Montgomery family. I'm not going to share how. You got to read it because it's a spoiler alert if I tell you. Quinn is trying to build a new life and kind of escape from her very sheltered, very conservative parents. And so after some of the things that occurred in book 2, she decides she's going to move out on her own. She is going to get her own apartment, and she's going to start as a 20-year-old trying to support herself and live her life. Literally, the day she's moving into her new apartment, she gets rear-ended by a moving truck. And that moving truck is got all the stuff for the main male character, which is Henry Ward III. And he is new to the series, so he's never been in any other books. He is originally from Texas, moved to New York, and is now coming back to Texas to take over his dad's company. They are immediately attracted to each other. He feels very strongly about taking care of her and this accident, and he feels horrible about it. So over the next couple of days, he sends her flowers, he checks on her, and come to discover that they are actually next door neighbors. So their relationship begins to grow as neighbors because every night they would meet out on their respective balconies and spend the evening together, just learning about each other and really sharing some secrets about their lives that nobody else has. I'm only about 71% through this book, but I just loved this series so much. I didn't want to take another week to read it. Plus, since this is really all I've been reading, I figured, hey, let's just do this because I kind of threw everything else to the side because this series was so good. I'm going to share a couple book snippets. They're from all of the books, so they vary a little bit. So I'm going to read the first one. And this is from the first book, which is The Bad Situation. And this is Eli talking to Jen. And he says, this is how it's going to go. We're not going to talk about your case, your job, or your company. We're not going to talk about my job or anything that has to do with the FBI. I'm skating a line being here, and I know it. But since I don't mind skating that line, and I really want to see the woman who caused me to lose my mind, I'm here. So it just already begins to play into that struggle that they have, that they really shouldn't be enjoying each other's company. Forbidden love. The second quote I have is from Broken Halo. This is Trig to Eli, the first time in 10 years let me try that again. This is Trig to Eli, and this is after their first rendezvous, if you will, 10 years, later since they've been together. This has happened very unexpectedly. They were arguing, and we all know hate turns to love, turns to fucking. And so that's basically what happens. So this is Angel, I have your panties in my pocket. This has occurred afterwards. You're going to listen to me. My jaw drops. And with that, Eli turns to my sisters and hold out his hands and says, we're going to bed.
I just need to correct one thing there. You said this is Trig to Eli.
Oh, instead of
that.
Thank you. No.
Might come off. It should be, this is Trig to Ellie. Yeah, just, hey, note to author.
They're very similar.
Note
Sorry.
to reviewer.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
So this is a quote from Betrayed Love. Thank you, honey, for catching that. I wasn't lying when I said all your firsts are mine, every one of them. I feel her smile against my neck and pull on her hair to lift her head to look her into the eyes. Just like you, all fucking mine. And so that kind of shows like Quinn is venturing out into things she's never done before. And he knows this, Henry knows this. And so he's super excited to do all her firsts with her. They all had there were so many steamy scenes that I just picked one from the first book. So this is a scene from Bad Situation. Let's see, there's where it starts. So this starts with this is Jen talking about it. She says, I exhale and put my hands to my hips, but he gets there first. And it's a good thing too, because all I can do is stare at Eli standing over me looking like a god. I've changed some of the words to be a little user friendly. His man part is also long and erect, bobbing with every movement as he drags my panties down my legs. When he throws them aside, I draw my legs up and put my feet to the bed, but can't take my eyes off him. He's beautiful. Putting a finger to my knee, he pushes and tells me to spread. I let my legs drop open and he traces the inside of my thigh at the same time he strokes his thick, veined man part. What he doesn't do is take his eyes off me. What? I ask. He drags a finger through my sex and I feel how slick I am, ready for him. His eyes drag down my body and he shakes his head, trying to decide where I want to start. Been thinking nothing but this since the first moment I laid eyes on you. And that's a mild scene, but I just felt like it was safe enough to share. I also wanted to share some book reviews because these ones that I picked are very much how I was feeling about this book. So I thought they were good examples of what other readers are saying. The first one is Rebecca Page, and she says, tremendous book. I couldn't put it down. It was 7 a.m. when I went to bed. Whoever reads romantic suspense has not incurred a book that has true meaningful impact on the reader. The characters are full and rich. The storyline was fast-paced and exciting. There's depth to her writing that is rare. It evokes emotions for those who are in the throes of addiction or any other events that are occurring. There are twists and turns that leave you breathless. Please read this book. It's stunning. Excuse me. The next one is... This next one, it just says it's from Reader. It says, for me, it was the perfect mixture of romance and suspense. You get romance, suspense in form of various crimes, hilarious banter, hero and heroines with backbones, cute children, great second characters, and families that are very close and meddlesome. The next one says, what a beautiful distraction. And this is Jamie W. She says, what a beautiful distraction or something more? ? I am so happy to be back in the Montgomery world again. I fell in love with Brynne's writing with the Caprinos, and I was even more excited when she introduced the Montgomerys, who are just as close-knit and loving, but may have even more drama. And lastly, J.D. Griff. She says, it was really great to finally read a romance novel that actually had an exciting storyline with a lot of twists and surprise. Still a sexy tale, but with lots of added depth. Thanks for a great read. And it kind of, one of the reviews mentioned the family. They're a traditional Texas family where they're all up in each other's business. The mom, the matriarch, Hattie, is freaking hilarious. She has more Texas sayings than I've ever heard from anyone. And I went to Texas A&M, and you hear a lot of Texas saying at that school. So I thought she was super cute. Total series overview. So I will tell you that the series spice rating is between 3.5 and 4. I say between because it is pretty steamy, but it could probably be dirtier. I know not everybody likes that, but I think it had just the right amount of being dirty along with the steam that it justified a 3.5 for jalapeno rating. Let's see, the star rating, I'd say 5+. If I had more stars, I'd give more stars. Not only with the story from the very beginning of book 1 and emotionally involved and included in them when I was reading these stories. So I really felt what they were going through. I was totally in for all 3 books. Literally the minute I'd finish one book, I would download the second book and read it. And then when I was done with that one, I downloaded the third book and started reading it. So literally back to back. I think I said literally like 5 times. Let's see. So, I would definitely put this on your summer read. Again, it's called the Montgomery series, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. I would also encourage you to go out and check out Brynne's social media. She is on both Facebook and Instagram as what did that do? As Brynne Ashley. She also has a reader group on Facebook that you can check out and become a member of if you like to do that kind of stuff. For my next read, I don't know. I'm kind of leaning towards Lights Out. I've gotten several recommendations for that book. I hear it's really good story, but also laugh out loud. So a lot of friends and followers have been encouraging me to read it. So it might be the one that I do next. But follow me on Instagram and Facebook or TikTok to see if that's what I actually do. And then we'll be back with a new review next week, guys. Thanks so much and have a great rest of the week.